Hi everyone, this is Joanna. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I wanted to show you how to color images on Kraft cardstock using Distress Oxide. And I created this simple card, and I'm going to show you how to do some embossing and then use Distress Oxide to color the flowers. Well, let's get started. I'm using Kraft cardstock and images from Altenew Garden Treasure stamp set, and I'm going to use Versamark to stamp them all over the cardstock. There's really no any pattern that I'm using. I'm just stamping, creating kind of like a background. Now I really like this softer matte that I'm using underneath. I always feel that the images are coming out much crisper that way, so I'm using it today. Okay, now I don't know if you can see it or not, but we're getting this Versamark little watermark image. Now I'm going to take the next flower. It's like a little bundle of flowers actually, and I'm going to start filling in the gaps. Like I said, there's really no any pattern that I'm following. I'm just stamping at this point, just having fun. And in a second I will put embossing powder and we'll white emboss it. Okay, let's get some smaller images now to fill in the gaps. And it's kind of nice to do it off paper stamping. I like that. Just looks like the flowers are just falling off. And then I found this little tiny flower. I don't remember where what stamp set this is from, but you can use any small image just to fill in the tiny little holes. Not to say that every piece of this cardstock needs to be filled, but I like it that way. All right, I think I'm good. I think I'm happy with it. Okay, so now let's grab some white embossing powder and apply that. Disregard this. I use this. It's a die cut that fell in there, and I have been using it to apply my embossing powder. Yes, that's terrible, huh? Look how neat it looks when it all just attaches itself to the cardstock. There you go. Now, of course, before you start it, you want to add your which I didn't show you, but I did it ahead of time because I always forget it, is the anti-static powder. You need that for sure. Okay, well, there you go. And now we're ready to heat set it. I'm not gonna buzz in your ear, you know that. I don't like to do that. I did that already. And I embossed the cardstock. Some parts I didn't do a good job, but that's okay because that's where I can put my greeting and cover that part. But now we are ready to start using the Distress Oxides to color the flowers, and it is just so much fun. Okay, so I'm gonna start off by using picked raspberry right here for the big flowers. I'm just gonna apply some to the mat, and here we go. You can also use the aqua painter for that application, but I just feel that with my brush I have more control of how much ink goes on and where it goes. You know, this is just a regular cardstock. It's not a watercolor paper, so I don't want to saturate it with water. And I feel that the aqua painter, and I'm not sure if this is just my aqua painter, it just releases a ton of water. It could be that I just don't have a good hand for the aqua painter. I don't know, but you know, the paintbrush is just fine. And you see that the embossed, because we embossed it, it just makes it so much easier to apply the color because you have something to follow. you know, it doesn't go beyond the embossing lines. Okay, well, let's change the color. Let's use some purple for smaller images, and I'm just showing you like one flower at a time because I don't want to spend, you know, 5 minutes just doing the whole card. I'm just showing you the colors that I used. I used the wilted violet for this flower right here. And like I said before, it's kind of nice when you have the embossed image because the ink just falls in the inside the image. Like for example, this little flower, if I want to put the purple in there, I don't have to worry about staying in the lines because it will always fall in the lines as long as it's embossed. So I used already the picked raspberry, the wilted violet. Now for some other flowers, I'm going to use Salty Ocean. So let's do that. For those little guys right here. And I'm just going to continue doing that to the entire card. It is so relaxing, it's so soothing, it's just fun. It's just so fun to color with the oxides. And you know, they give you that chalky finish, and they really are showing great on Kraft cardstock. I mean, just fabulous. Really nice. For the green, I'm going to use Twisted Citron. And I'm just going to continue on. And if you, for example, with the Twisted Citron, I think if you let it dry for a few minutes and you go over again, you get a nicer pop with it. So that's what I was doing it to my past cards. There you go. So you're just going to continue on like that. I used a spiced marmalade, I don't know, for the centers of the big flowers. You don't have to do that, but so you just continue on coloring your flowers, and this is what you're gonna get. You see that? And the color changes a little bit, just slightly when it dries, but it's just so very pretty. So let me clean this up really quick so we can continue on. It's a fun card to do while you're watching TV or your family is watching TV. You can just hang out with them and just make emboss a bunch of those cards and just sit there and color. Okay, so now I want to make the greeting. So for that, I grabbed a piece of Kraft cardstock, and from Hero Arts, my monthly hero, March, there's a little saying sending, so I'm going to do sending hugs. So once again, I'm going to grab my Versamark and use Versamark on it. There you go. And white embossing powder. And we're going to heat set it really quick. There you go. And after heat setting, what I did is I grabbed 2 thin strips of white paper. Like I tried to go really thin, and I thought it would be kind of nice to add an edge. I think it just brings makes the greeting pop out. Now with regards to hugs, I cut out, oh my goodness, where are my hugs? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, you see how organized I am because I cannot find my hugs. What I did was I cut out two images of hugs, one in white and one in Kraft. And what I did with the white, I took picked raspberry and I sponged it. As I'm talking to you, I'm still looking for my hugs that I know that they are somewhere here, but of course, as always, I can't find them. And I sponged them in picked raspberry, and the second image of hugs, I cut it out in Kraft cardstock, but I wanted it to be just slightly darker. So I found the closest that I found to it, or just the shade darker, is the Sahara Sand from Stampin' Up, but you may have some kind of a Kraft ink that you can just sponge it with, because I just wanted this tiny bit of darkness, like a little shadow. So and I offset it so you can see that there is a shadow there, and that's going to be my greeting. So now I am ready to put it together. Now I already put the double-sided foam here, so I'll just place it on the card. And find the ugly side of the card if you want to cover it. This one actually is pretty good. I think I like it all, but so it really doesn't matter. But this one had an ugly side, so I was like, okay, that's where my greeting goes. Gotta cover that. We're going to apply that, make it pop out there, and now. With regards to hugs, you can just place them, you just glue them, but I love popping them out. I think there's just something special about it. And in the past, I have used glue dots, and I just roll them up into little balls, and I stick them behind. Today, I cut out the double-sided foam, and I cut it into tiny little strips, which is challenging in itself, but I think it just works better. I have seen Jennifer Maguire show a double-sided foam tape that was translucent, and I think that's the ticket. That's the ticket to for all those die cuts, like small die cuts. Now, so we're ascending, and we're going to go hugs right here. Okay. There you go. And now we are ready to place it on the cardstock and send it off. Now you could very easily do it directly on the cardstock without having that extra piece of card, but for the purpose of making video, this was just easier to do it that way. But I really enjoy coloring with Distress Oxides. They're just so fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. I hope I inspired you guys today, and I will talk to you guys soon. Ta-ta.